Hello everybody, welcome my beautiful train wrecks. We are going, pardon the grumbling, we have a new little kitty that's learning how to play, and she wants to play with everybody, and not everybody wants to play with her, so there's a little bit of growling and grumbling going on. So, I went online because I wanted to start sharing the Queen's information. So I wanted to go to a very reliable source. So I went online to the royal family's page. That is where I'm getting my information from. I figure if they put that out on their page, we can read it. So I will share some of the information with you. So, we should be good. Everything should work fine. Okay. I haven't moved anything. So let's start with teas. I am doing about 45 minutes to an hour video. More or less, that's what I want to do. And I am using a 4-placer and a single placer. This pen is absolutely beautiful. I love it. I got it from Hobby Lobby Diamond Art Club. And I'm using this tray. It's Bella Art de Nicole. I believe that's what it is. I can't get to the card. So there's that. So I got my phone with the royal webpage on. I know I'm not going to read everything, but I will try to sum it up as much I can because we have a lot of videos, so we have time. Alright, here we go. How are you? Is everything going on great in your world today? I hope it is. Make sure you start leaving comments so I have topics to talk about. We have so many future diamond paintings in the wings waiting. And yes, you're going to hear that awful beep. I just finished my last antibiotic last night. So hopefully my blood sugar should start calming down. So let's get to talking about Queen Elizabeth II. She was born on April 21st, 1926. She was born at 2:40 a.m. She was born a night owl. She was born at 17 Bruton Street in Mayfair, England. So yeah, that's where she was born. She was born at her maternal grandparents' home. They were the Earl and Countess of Strathmore. And at that time, her parents were the Duke and Duchess of York. She was the firstborn. She only had one sibling. And her sister was Margaret. Queen Elizabeth was the first child of the Duke and Duchess of York. Due to her uncles, I can never say this right, abdication? I don't know how to say that. I don't. Her uncle stepped down. No, I can't pronounce it. I might as well just stop. She was christened. I cannot say christened. There, I got it. I said it. Christened. Elizabeth Alexandria Mary at Buckingham Palace on the 29th of May. Yes. She was named after her mother, and her two middle names was from Queen Alexandra, her great-grandmother on her father's side, and her grandmother on her father's side. So she had a very special name. I have a few Elizabeths in my family as well. My great aunt was an Elizabeth, and my cat is Elizabeth, and she counts too as a people. Yes, I realize that you are telling me my sugars are not right. That's okay. She grew up in her very early years at 145 Piccadilly and at White Lodge in Richmond Park. Those were the two places her early years she resided. This is a lot of good information on this site. She would also spend time in the homes of her grandparents. King George and Queen Mary at Windsor Castle, Balmoral Castle, and Sandringham House. That was on her father's side. On her mother's side, the Earl and Countess of Strathmore, the Glamis Castle in Angus, that's in Scotland, and St. Paul's Waldenbury in Hertfordshire. So she grew up around very grand places. Can you imagine? To be able to play in castles and big stately homes. Oh, that had to be so much fun. Her sister, Margaret Rose, was born in 1930, and they were very close. As you can imagine, as a big sister, I'm sure she was very protective of her little sister. And you can tell by looking at pictures and sites that they were very close. And of course, you know, they had their squabbles. Every sibling has some rivalry, but there was love there. Deep down inside, there was always love there. And yes, there's stories that there was arguments and they'd have to go separate and lick their wounds a little bit, but they never lost the fact that they were sisters. Can you imagine having a sister that was a queen? Oh my goodness. I mean, they were raised, you know, they were both young, so she knew her more as a sister than she knew her as a queen. But can you imagine the culture shock of all of a sudden, bam, I'm your queen. Oh my gosh. I can't imagine. Okay, let's go to A's. So yes. When she was 6 years old, she moved to Royal Lodge in Windsor, Great Park. That was where that was the country home. And that had to be a wonderful place. It said, and Princess Beatrice, yes, I think it's Princess Beatrice, has shown the house, the little cottage. I cannot pronounce what the actual name of it is, but it came as a gift for the people of Wales for her 6th birthday in 1932. I cannot even say the name of it. I don't know if you can see it. Within Bach? I don't know. So if there's any people that know Welsh, can you please tell me what that name is? I'm fascinated by it. But I've seen it. It's very adorable. You can look online and Beatrice shows you through it. It's a little house. It's just got everything. It's fabulous. I would love to have been able to play in it. It had everything. It was wonderful. So, in 1936, her grandfather, King George, died. And it completely shook the quiet family life for her. I mean, I've heard, I don't know if this is 100% documented truth, but I've heard on documentaries that she used to call her grandfather, was it her that called it, or was it Charles? You know, now I don't know. Now that I've said it, now I'm afraid to say it. I'm not sure. So let's just say it this way. I don't know if the queen had to have said it. Yeah, the queen had to have said it. Grandpa England. It had to be the queen. Had to be. So I'm sitting here going, was it Charles? And then I thought about that for a minute. I don't know. Maybe. I'm not sure. Somebody said it. I'll have to figure it out. I'll have to verify that. That might be verified in a future video. Because I don't want to look it up now. We're diamond painting now. But, I'm not sure. After a while, you watch so many documentaries, everything kind of blends together. That's why I'm reading from the Royal UK website. I want to make sure there is accuracy as much as I can do. And I figure the Royal website, that's open for everybody, so they're going to be as correct as they want said. I am not going to use the Crown or another site or another like documentary like that. I want it to be an actual documentary that I know that is correct. I don't want to say the wrong things. She doesn't deserve that. Her uncle, Edward the Eighth, took the king's title. And he had a interesting lifestyle. I'm not going to go into much detail on it because it's not endorsed by the royal family. But let's just say it was a very interesting lifestyle. He became king in 1936, obviously. That's when the king died. So he stepped up and became king. He met an American divorcee, Wallis Simpson. Well, she was a divorcee and she was from America. And that was, at that time, was just not possible. That was not acceptable. Now, you know, we have a divorced American married Harry, or his name is actually Henry, but they call him Harry. So the royal family has changed with the times. Mind you, she's not going to be king or queen, obviously, for obvious reasons. That's not going to happen. But, sorry, I keep moving. I have weights on the back of this board, but it still moves. I have to get some heavier, like books or something to put back there. So, the eldest son, Edward the Eighth, became coronated as king. The coronation. Well, before the end of the year, he gave it up because he was not allowed to be king and also marry Wallis Simpson. So he abdicated, that A word that I cannot say, and the future queen's father ascended to the throne as King George the Sixth. He had his coronation May of 1937. So she got to watch her father and her mother coronated as king and queen. And the coronation was in Westminster Abbey. And as you can imagine, Princess Elizabeth knew what her future was now going to be. It was set in stone. She was going to be the future queen. Can you imagine the scrutiny, okay, let me move this down a little bit. The scrutiny, the intense teaching that would have to be done, because you have to have lessons in tradition, and for the women, poise, and you have to know so many subjects in school. You have to be well versed in languages and history and craziness how much you have to know. And then in the midst of all of this, your uncle steps down, your dad becomes king, your fate is sealed, and then the ultimate things happen. War. Can you imagine being the center of that? And to know that you can't cry, you can't yell, you can't say that's good, that's bad. You have to just stiff upper lip it. Oh, this pen, my other pen, looks like it's run out. Can I pick it up with it? Yeah, okay, we're good. I just had to rub it on my shirt. It come back to me. All right, I'm back with the pretty pen. But can you imagine in all of that? You know, she hasn't been a princess long. We're talking 1940. 1940. The Blitz is it's the height of the Blitz. War is raging all around you. You know, all of this heaviness, the responsibility has been put in your lap. The chaos it must have been for her and Margaret, you know. And then think about the new king. He always thought his brother was going to be king, you know. And they've said he was kind of shy and reserved. Had trouble with public speaking. And can you imagine? All of a sudden, you get the knock on the door and says, hey, the king doesn't want to be king anymore. You get to be king. Wow. Amazingly scary. Because of the safety, obviously, they moved the princesses to Windsor Castle. And if you can imagine, you're away from your parents. You have to study. You have to continue education. You can't just stop just because you move. So you're studying in this castle. You're worried about your parents that didn't come with you. You've got air raid, so you have to do air raid drills. And just because they were royal doesn't mean that they got the best of everything. They had to do food rationing too. And what happened to the country is what happened to them. Stop. Oh, that's Betty. Elizabeth, get off the table. And of course I'm talking about Elizabeth, and then Elizabeth pops up. And okay, she jumped. And can you imagine that you could only see your parents when they could? Because, you can see documentaries that they didn't hide. They walked the streets. They were with the people. I mean, he was a wonderful king. Can you imagine walking around and seeing bombed houses? And you're walking in the midst of the rubble? They didn't hide. They walked out. They checked what happened, what was happening with their country. I can only, that's just, They were, her parents stayed in London. They refused, they refused. There was anxiety. Everyone had anxiety. And it was okay. It was okay. They were allowed, and they did have a nice Christmas. They played with the staff. They put on pantomimes with the children of the staff. And that was to lighten the mood for, pardon the beeps, for the workers and the royals. They needed a break. It was Christmas time. Tradition is tradition. They still had the pantomime. And I know even to this day they have Christmas pantomimes. So yes. Okay. The education that they had, they didn't go to school. They were educated at home. Children of wealth at that time, we're talking about, the 30s and 40s, they were educated at home. And I am sure that they did not learn the same things that our children now, and even us, learned in school. I'm sure their studies was more intense. You can imagine you're going to be queen one day. You would have to learn a lot. Yes, she studied constitutional history and law. That's a heavy topic to discuss and to study. Can you imagine? Most people are getting art, and which I'm sure she learned a little bit about art. We're getting PE class. She rode horses. She loved horses and played toys. And can you imagine having a great big yard to play in? Oh my goodness. It was more than a yard. It was just It was huge. I wouldn't even consider it a yard. It's the grounds. It was grounds. Big, big grounds. And a little house. And oh my goodness. Okay. It says here that she received tuition from her father, as well as sessions with Henry Martin, the vice provost of Eton. She was also educated in religion by the Archbishop of Canterbury. She spoke different languages. She spoke French, from French and Belgium governesses, which is like babysitters to us, or nannies. I think that would be more appropriate, like nannies. I don't know if I'm getting that right. All of my British friends and friends from that UK and European countries. Is governesses like nannies? But she did speak fluent French because she spoke French when she went on visits to Canada and other French-speaking countries. Oh, well here, it just proved me wrong. Princess Elizabeth studied art and music. She learned to ride horses and became a strong swimmer. Did not know that about Queen Elizabeth. But when she was Princess Elizabeth, I did not know that. I figured she studied some art because she had portraits and stuff like that. But art, music, I know she was really good with horses. She actually had racehorses. She breeded racehorses. I seen a documentary about that. She was a Girl Guide when she was 11. Girl Guides are kind of like Girl Scouts here. Oh my goodness, this is driving me crazy. Oh, I can't shut it off because that's my diabetes. And yeah, that's gotta happen. So she was a Girl Guide, later becoming a Sea Ranger. What is a Sea Ranger? That has got me puzzled. When I was reading this before, because I've read this before, and I just reread it before I got on here, so I was kind of familiar with what I was going to talk about. She won the Children's Challenge Shield at London's Bath Club when she was 13. I don't know what that is either. Somebody help me. Still working on these A's. During the war at Windsor Castle, she competed the first Royal Windsor Horse Show in 1944. She was on fire. She was doing great things at an early age. Can you imagine? The very first show. And I know she didn't win it, because she was the future queen. I'm sure she had to have some skill. And seeing her ride horses and knowing she was still riding horses in her 90s, I have no doubt she had riding skills. Just trying to straighten up a little. I can't get close because the camera is here. So this is a little bumpy. It's okay. I'll straighten it when I'm done. Let me do a time check because I'm sitting here just talking away, not paying attention. Okay, we're at 35 minutes. Okay, she was the horse show. She was driving a Norwegian pony named Hans in a carriage with her sister as a passenger. She won the single private driving class. So that's fascinating. So that's really all they talk about in her early life and her education. I know she loved Graham. I can say it when I see it. I gotta look at it. I know everybody's screaming the name of it. Sandring. I don't know why I have trouble with pronunciations. And a lot of times if I see it, I can say it. Do, do, do. Talk amongst yourselves. Do, do, do. Put some diamonds on a painting. Do, do. Sandringham house. Why do I sound like I haven't said it right? Sandring. Yeah. The place that begins with an S that I can't say without seeing it and I can't find it. Yeah. Why? I can. You know, this is what fibromyalgia does to you. It messes with you. It does a little bit. I could say things when I was younger. Now it bugs me. If I'm not thinking about it, I can say it. It'll just... I wish they did this alarm to where it only like alerted you once or twice, and then after a couple times it's done until it goes crazy. It's 2:58. It's not horrible, but I set the time, or not the time, I set the to tell me when it got into higher than 250, just so I can start really being aware of it. Mind you, there's some people that are like 300-400, so it's not like dangerously high, but I want to be aware so I can start pushing more fluid, and because drinking fluids helps with that, boys and girls. Okay, so where should we go next? How about we do X's? I feel like we've done some X's. I think we run out of time. And I was in the process of doing X's. I'm going to get to my green tray, because the last one was really light color and I could barely see it. That's why it was taking me time to put diamonds, because I was trying to figure out, were they upright, were they straight? I couldn't tell. But now I'll be able to see. And now that I'm not messing with phone, I can put the tray up here a little closer. And it'll make me diamond paint a little quicker. But I've definitely got to put some books. I have those little metal bend magnet things that Philip did. You've seen them. You have to look in at one of the first videos. And I have those behind it, but I'm so heavy-handed because I lean my hand which I need to make that a little lower so you can see what I'm doing. I put my hand up on the painting when I paint, and that puts weight on it. And then I'm a heavier handed painter. That puts weight on it. I need more weight. And it's warm in here. Get back here. She's wanting to run away, and she can't run away because I need to make her beautiful. And you know, that is something about her. She was so beautiful. She was absolutely stunning. I can see why Prince Philip fell for her. She was beautiful. I had a choice of paintings. I could have done her very young as a princess. I could have done her as a very young queen. But I like her at the age I have her now. Which you can't hardly see. You can see in the picture. I took a picture of, you know, on the Facebook page. Go to the Facebook page if you haven't gone to the Facebook page yet. And I can't say why it put it down below. I'll have to put it down below. And I'll put down below the site I was reading from to give it credit and so you can read it. So, Future Jill, me. Find out where this painting is from because I do not have an unboxing for it because I unboxed this a long time ago. Find out where I got the painting from. Find out the site I was using. And yeah, you have to do some editor work. So rewatch this so you don't forget, because Jill, you know you're going to forget. You know you are going to forget, Jill. So rewatch this video. Write down your little notes of everything you need to put below. The web page. It's gone down a little bit. It's gone down 4 points since we're talking. Alright, let's do some 6s. I was watching a documentary about one day the Queen was walking on her property and a very young Prince William fell down and got hurt. And he was yelling, "Gary, Gary." And the guy was saying, "Ma'am, he's yelling for Gary." And she goes, "No, he wants me. He can't say Granny, so he calls me Gary." Isn't that sweet? Oh my gosh. But yes, she loved her grandchildren and her great-grandchildren so much. Yes. But I know the kids also call her Gan Gan and Granny. I think it would have been wonderful to be related to her. And I'm not the person, people who know me know. It's not for the money, it's not for the great gifts, it's not for anything that money or fame can buy. Just to be able to talk and learn and get wisdom. Can you imagine listening to her life story told by her and giving wisdom? Oh, that is more priceless than any gold jewelry on this earth. Money doesn't buy it for me. Fame doesn't buy it for me. Love, wisdom, hearing family stories, that's what does it for me. Let's see. Well, I am not done with this square. I was hoping I would be, but there's no way I'm going to be able to get that done in 15 minutes. I talk too loud. And since I cannot put paper on it, I'm going to finish this little bit off camera. I know. Grab them pearls, baby girls and boys. I know I'm going to do it off camera. But it's going to be okay. You're not going to miss much, I promise. And then I will be back later to film another square. And since I really can't go in order, I might film down here where it's a little bit more confetti next. I don't know. I mean, I can do any square I want. I don't have to go in order. So I think I'm going to do that. I think it'll be fun. It'll be lively. So, with that, I'm going to let you go. Be good to yourself and others. Thought of today. I didn't do that the last one, but I'm going to leave you with a thought. When you're older, what words of wisdom would you give to your children and grandchildren? I would love to know what wisdom you would share. So share down below. Leave any questions. Anything you would like to see, like a theme. And we can look to see if there's licensed art of that theme. Yeah. But I think I'm going to start doing that at the end of every video. Just asking a question. What would you do? I know that, oh, pardon me. Philip has a question for me. I wanted him to go get lemon. So he sent me a question. I said I wanted lemon. He said, what do you mean by lemon? Fruit or juice? Fruit. I love my child. And what words of wisdom would I leave for Philip? Because I can't ask you a question and then not answer it myself. I think I would tell him to always see the good in someone. Even if someone was absolutely horrible, try to find one good thing about them. Even if it's something back from their childhood. Say somebody was absolutely evil as an adult. Horrible. A monster. Even if you have to look all the way back from birth. Try to find something good about somebody. I've got something good about you all. You obviously have either a love for Tom and I, or you have a love of diamond art, or it's just a love of curiosity about our crazy kooky life. But There's a love of something that's bringing you here. And there's a love of something that's having me make this content. It's the love of diamond painting. It's the love of doing something with my husband, a hobby we can share. It's the love of passing this hobby on to my son and to my nieces and nephews and you. So yeah, there's love there. So if you love this, like, share, subscribe. If you have Facebook, DP with the Edward family, that's our group page. The Diamond Facebook page, the main, because I had to do a Facebook to get a group. So that is Diamond Painting with the Edwards. I do believe. Let me just make sure. I will show you. I will show you. Yeah, the Facebook page, Jill Edwards, Diamond Painting with the Edwards family. You will know the correct one because we are standing doing RAR in front of a T-Rex. And then the group is DP with the Edwards family. I guess if I do this, then I don't have to put that down below. I'm smart. And then, of course, you know the YouTube because you're watching me on it. So either way, be good to yourself and others. I love you guys. Big hugs and kisses. Bye. Now it's time to extend that blooper reel. Maybe. Wake up the mouse. I'll have to send the ending to... Oh, mouse is awake. I'll have to send this blooper to Wyatt because he's going to have to make a see, I have trouble today. Compilation video of all the mice problems that we're having because this mouse drives me batty. Bye.